Hey guys, Mike the Vike here, back for yet another video. Today we got a Rust update for you guys. We've got a lot of interesting changes, and in a pretty short amount of time. Like, we already had a pretty substantial update last week. This was recorded on my Rust server. If you want to join, it's straightforward. Just go to the play menu and go modded and search Viking, and mine will be there. We changed it to 3 times gather, and we changed a few things so it's slightly different. If you want to join, please feel free to do so. I hope to make the Rust gameplay videos on here as well. I had some ideas to set up some server events where like you guys should try to come and kill me while I set up like this OP base. But I can't do that if there's no players, so I don't know. Just join if you can. I will love you forever. Please and thank you. Now on to the update. So probably the biggest thing that they've added in this week is the stone gate. Before we just had the wood gate. And this one is just a big upgrade in health, basically. That's the main feature here. 2000 health, same as the stone walls, which is cool. It takes a long time to open this door for some reason, but that's by design, because the idea is that you can, maybe if you wait nearby as a naked, you could sneak in or something. So one thing that's neat about them is that you can actually set up ladders on the side and then climb on top here. So you can have a little bit of a bird's eye perspective, maybe shoot down on anybody that's outside your base. If you also want to barricade these edges, because this is kind of annoying, you could maybe fall off or somebody could shoot you, you can place barricades on the sides. Honestly, it'd be cool to see more kind of pre-built things like this. I was thinking even add like an outpost or like a sniper tower thing that's just pre-built. Like if you remember in Legacy, there were actually a lot of different, well there was one, the wooden shelter or shack, which was just a cheap way to get you started. Maybe we should see more of those instead of only having these like custom built, build it yourself things. Another thing that they've changed in building is they've made the armored door, well just all doors in general, as well as the window bars, not a part of the building plan. In the building plan, before you would place your door through this. Now it's a separate thing in the construction tab of the crafting menu. The reasoning behind this is that then they can expand this further and add maybe different types of doors in the future. Also, one big change with these doors is that you can no longer just upgrade a wood door that you have. Normally you could just place it down and then you could go to the building or the hammer and then just upgrade it, easy peasy. So they added a new system because of course before in Legacy in order to upgrade a door you had to destroy it and that was a pain. But now all you have to do is take off the code lock. So let's say you had one on here. All you have to do is unlock the code lock, then remove the code lock, open the door, and then hold E on it, and you'll get the option to pick up the door. And now you have it back in your inventory, and then you can place in your new one. So it's a lot easier than the Legacy method. Another big change to building is the pillars. Before you used to place them on the edges of the base. People are saying that this is a glitch, but I believe that this is by design. They're now sort of a little bit more inside the walls. At first glance, I'm kind of okay with this in some ways because it means that you can upgrade your pillars or place them after you build your base. Whereas in the past, if you forgot to place your pillars, then you're kind of done. But of course, the big negative here is it takes up really essential space in your base. But perhaps this is wanting to force players to make slightly bigger bases. So for example, if you want to have loot or a bunch of boxes on this side of your base, you're going to have to not include pillars, so less stability. I don't know, maybe this is all just a glitchy mess, but that's my take on it, and I think it's still pretty cool. So they've added 2 things for base defense. They've added these wooden shutters, which can be open and closed, but they're kind of hard to close. They can also be open and closed from the outside as well. So if somebody sees you, if you have these on the first floor of your base, somebody could technically open these and then shoot in. And then they've also added these embrasures, which is sort of a replacement to the half block thing people were doing to set up these little bunker shootout things. I like these a lot because it's quite simple that you know what these are made for, whereas the half block things, they looked kind of ugly and they were made for something else. Whereas this looks really nice. It looks really nice, especially from the outside. Like, look, that's really cool. And of course, the use of these is that you can shoot at people while they have trouble seeing you. Here's what it looks like from the outside. So if you're far away, honestly, it's going to be hard to see somebody. But, that's what they're for. There are 2 different kinds here. They've got the slots vertical ones and then the horizontal here. Straightforward, just for different weapons, I guess, and depending on what you want to do. A bunch of the starting weapons got a bit of a buff. So the Ioka pistol now has 75% better spread, so it's not so ridiculous. I like this. I mean, it's good to see that the gun is a little bit more useful. I don't know how they can make this thing better, honestly. Like, nobody uses it, but I guess this is a step in the right direction. They've also buffed the stone spear. Basically, they made the animation a lot quicker, but it's still not as fast as it used to be. I'm still not a fan of the equip animation. Like, it looks quite bad. It doesn't look like he's moving the spear at all. So if they could reanimate that, you know, it just looks really bad. And unfortunately, they nerfed, I guess, the recoil on the AK, but they kept the bolt recoil fast, which is good. But yeah, this is unfortunate. Look at this. Quite ridiculous in my opinion. If you crouch, it's a little bit better, but that was the same as before. Honestly, it seems worse to me, but I guess this is just how it is. But yeah, the bolt is the same, which is good at least. They'll probably increase this too a bit if if this is the logic they had on the AK, they'll probably do the same to the bolt. There was some debate that people were actually happy if they completely removed the AK from the game. I doubt that they'll do that. But the logic is that like all other guns are quite useless if you're facing an AK. I agree with that, but I don't know if removing it is the right option, but maybe a bit of a nerf, but I just feel like the recoil is too ridiculous. So a nerf it in some other fashion would be good. Some people were saying maybe make it so that these aren't craftable, that you can only find them in rad towns, or like the turrets where you can only find the pieces to make them from the helicopter or some sort of unique location. So basically last week they removed the half block and people weren't happy with that because they had all sorts of uses for them. So now they've added these shelves. They're a non-default blueprint and they're just designed to put your storage boxes on. You can put the large boxes or the small ones, whatever you have. They got a little bit of health, which is good, I guess. And they do their job, you know, it is what it is. They look nice. Again, I prefer this than having the half blocks do a bunch of different things. So they've made a bit of a big change on weapon spawns. So in the past, when you found a gun in a barrel or at a rad town, it would spawn and it would have full ammo and full condition. They've changed this now so that the weapons spawn with very low ammo and condition. This is basically setting it up so that if you get lucky and find an AK in one of these boxes, you can't suddenly go dominating the server. Especially when the server just wiped, then you can't spawn, get the gun, and then go on a rampage. You know, the gun will likely be low on ammo or broken. So lastly, they've buffed the turrets. Before they were a little bit too easy to take down, and they also didn't deal enough damage. So that's pretty cool to see. Of course, these things are still super rare. I haven't seen these in action quite a lot. But then again, I haven't been playing a whole lot recently. So we'll just show you it in action for kicks. Let's see how it does. That's honestly really cool. Dude, look at that! That's actually so cool. It's the first time I've seen it get somebody that wasn't just a naked. Man, these are so awesome, actually. I just haven't seen them very much so far. Anyways, guys, that's basically the summary of this update. I think it's a pretty cool update. I like the embrasures and the shutters. I'm not a fan of the recoil. I think that it was too OP before, yes, but I think that this is maybe a little bit much. Apart from that, everything else seems to be fairly good. I mean, I always like new items to place and new walls and so on and so forth. I'm really excited for the next few updates. It sounds like they've got an M249 saw on the way and some sort of big rad towns also, so some good things coming to Rust very shortly. Anyways, guys, that's going to be the end of this Rust update video. If you enjoyed, do all the usual things. Don't forget to join my Rust server if you can. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.